okay? Is he well? Any information about I'm not in the business of speculation. You know that. You are just working, working by facts. He's healthy, charged, and he knew whatever is supposed to be done by him. Why am I saying this? Because the war is happening, and because the moment that he or his office decides to do that, they will do.
Across the capital, across the country, Israeli and American airstrikes are leaving deep scars. Whole buildings are razed from the map. This is what so-called smart bombs do to homes next door to their targets. The fire left devastated, its residents did not escape unscathed.
The man who lives here doesn't want to talk on camera, but he told us that when the explosion happened, the blast wave filled the apartment with thick dust and smoke, and put his wife and daughter both in hospital with broken bones and shrapnel wounds. The issue essentially is that, however precise the munitions that the Israeli Americans say they're using, they generally always have some kind of impact to those living around where they're targeted.
Many have fled the capital. Those who remain try to carry on as best they can. In the market, they're shopping for the Persian New Year at the end of the week. Some prepared to share their fears and concerns.
It's very unsettling. Nobody can predict what's going to happen next. We want the war to be over soon. Nobody knows how the situation will develop.
It's extremely awful. Nobody is buying anything, and I can't do anything about it. Business is not good at all. Can't normally like this business.
What's striking is that things are carrying on as normal as much as they can, even though the war's happening. But there is a tension, not just as the war, but also as the process of the war to very briefly suppressed. On camera, but off camera, they're saying things like the situation is terrible, business is awful. And one man said to us that whatever happens during the war, the moment it's over, things can change for the better.
But with no sign of de-escalation from either side, and no sign of diplomacy, the prospect of this being over soon seems dismal and distant. Dominic Waghorn, Sky News, Tehran.
Well, Israel has continued to strike the Lebanese capital this morning with large explosions. The Israeli military says it's targeting Hezbollah infrastructure as the war continues to rage across multiple fronts. Amidst all that activity in the region, President Trump has continued to criticize allies over their role. He was fresh attack on the UK, saying again he was not happy with the Prime Minister's decision.
When I hear the UK, which was sort of considered the Rolls Royce of allies, right? When you said there was a opponent, nobody can agree there. It would be really helpful if you send over partnerships and the
address the ongoing problem. How is it? Don't feel the task force still fired up. So instead of calling for statutory inquiries for things. Earlier this year, we spoke to some of the families in our Sky News film Birth Trauma, the women who weren't listening to this.
I just felt this really sudden urge to push. And at that stage, when I felt the urge to push, I was in that room alone with my husband. There was no staff with us. I wasn't on a bed. I wasn't being monitored. My daughter wasn't being monitored. I hadn't been given any pain relief. Midwife was telling one of the doctors to find where Grace's heartbeat was so they could get me on the monitor. And she just was struggling to find anything. And we were kind of both just there like, what's going on, what's happening. I was told that there wouldn't be time for an episiotomy, so I was basically just going to have to push through, which meant splitting myself in half, basically. One of the doctors came in with a ultrasound machine, and he said to me, Lauren, was that a contraction? And I said, yes. And he was like, I'm really sorry, I can't find a heartbeat. And honestly, in that moment, the sounds that came out of me, don't even know what they were. They're not something I could ever replicate. It was just this moment of pure horror and pain, like nothing else that is imaginable.
Well, on the live stream on the Sky News website and Sky News app, we're hearing from women from families who've been affected by issues at maternity services. Scan that QR code on the screen right now to tune in and listen into that conversation. We welcome your input as and when you're happy to do so. You're watching Sky News today. Still to come, we're going to explore the situation in Iran with our military analyst, Sean Bell.
Just dial the number and press ring.
I'm not going all this.
You're really sorry you've got a card for he's going to get lynched.
You know, I'll twist my head.
Good morning, gentlemen. Move, move. We stand together, whether we're fighting fire or we get thrown in one.
Fire Country. Tonight at 9 on Sky Next. Discover the writers who redefined the world of espionage with stories inspired by it.
Say it's 90% from personal experience, really.
We've all got to go sometime. And nowadays, more people are opting for what's being called the way to go. By choosing a funeral plan from Simplicity Cremations, people are saving thousands of pounds compared to the cost of a traditional funeral. It's a simpler option, and for many, it's the more sensible way to go.
Simplicity has put my mind at rest that everything will be dealt with, so all my friends and family can have a day out on me.
Simplicity offer one of the UK's best value funeral plans. They take care of everything, and your family aren't left with a crippling financial burden.
A funeral plan with Simplicity Cremations costs only £1,699 with a monthly payment option available. See why it's the way to go in our free brochure. Call the number on screen or scan the QR code now. You can trust Simplicity because they're backed by the UK's largest integrated funeral provider. And Simplicity have 45 crematoriums nationwide, so it's likely there's one near you. Plus, they have high scores on trusted review sites with many positive comments.
Arranging plans seems so easy and uncomplicated. Happy days. In a world of worry, stress, and ever-rising prices, when your time comes to go, Simplicity Cremations is the way to go.
Plan today and get a £50 gift card. Call 0808 304 9134 or search Simplicity Cremations online now. It's the way to go. I used to worry about something happening to me. Now, with this clever watch from your stride, I can get help anytime, anywhere in the country at the push of a button, or it can even detect a fall. Hello, Mrs. Williams, are you all right? We can send help to your location right away. I feel safe. I've got my independence back, and I'm more active than ever. My family can stop worrying, but I can keep on enjoying the things that matter. Order yours today.
You're watching Sky News, correspondent with you. It's just coming up to 11:15 on a Tuesday morning. Let's cross live to the Conservative Party leader, Kenny Bagot, who joins us now. Kenny, good to see you. Appreciate you showing the time. Lots of focus from the government yesterday on energy, particularly on heating oil, a real focus for communities and families and households in Northern Ireland in particular. The Prime Minister announcing £53 million worth of support. You're also wanting to talk about energy today. What's the Conservative Party proposing?
Well, we have a
power plan, you talk about drilling for oil and gas. They're all relatively medium to long-term proposals, and new oil rig is not coming on stream anytime soon. So I'm kind of interested what you're looking for in the here and now. You know, it is mid-March. You're referring to energy tax.
Hi everyone, like and subscribe please. Like and subscribe to my channel. Takes 2 seconds, I appreciate it. Hello everyone, where are you from?
A little time, apologies for jumping in there. I'm interested in what you mean specifically. It's a great soundbite, not just 60 hours, but 60 hours. What do you mean by that? Are you proposing that the UK should take part in strikes on sovereign territory, on Iranian infrastructure, on Iranian military? Are you saying that we should send boats to the Strait of Hormuz? What exactly is the specific?
So where you have Iran shooting missiles and drones at British bases, you should try and stop them from doing that. Just stopping the missiles and stopping the drones is not enough. Many of those missile launchers are deep underground, but they come out when they're shooting at us. I think we should try and take out some of that capability, because if all you're doing is trying to stop the drones, eventually you'll get hit. If someone's shooting loads of arrows at you and you're just trying to catch the arrows, you will get hit. That would mean loss of life for our British servicemen and women. I think that we have a huge responsibility to make sure that we keep them safe, keep them alive, and we do everything we can to protect them. So the missile launch capability is something that I'm specifically concerned about, because as long as they're doing that, our soldiers and our bases are under threat.
Leader of the opposition, leader of the Conservative Party, Kerry Baker, good to have you with us. Thank you. Breaking news to bring you here on Sky News. A statement from the Archbishop of Canterbury, Dame Sarah Mullally, who has said her prayers, quote, are with the families of the 2 young people who have tragically died in the meningitis outbreak in Kent, describing the 2 deaths of those young people as a devastating loss. We'll bring you more on that situation as it develops here on Sky News. It is 10:52. We're joined now by our military analyst Sean Bell to pick up on some of the comments, some of the conversation we've been hearing broadly about the situation in Iran. I just want to show you, Sean, if we can, some footage from the last few moments of this. This is HMS Dragon, Type 45 destroyer, arriving off Cyprus. This is the warship that's been so talked about, and many would say should have been in Eastern Mediterranean sooner, but it's in the last few moments arriving on site.
Yeah, what's interesting there is we're just looking at the equipment, but I can only imagine, having served on Her Majesty or His Majesty's ships now so often in my career, the amount of training that's been going on over the last week or so since it set sail from Portsmouth, because most of the crew will not have been ready to go to sea. They won't have been trained. About a third of the crew probably were brand new. There's a lot of fighting the ship. Everybody owns that. There are no passengers. You are all part of fighting the ship. So this is the culmination. Now they're arriving in the sort of war zone, as it were. They'll be looking very carefully at how do we now add value? How do we make this ship genuinely add to the defensive capability, which means it's got to be integrated now into the other defensive capabilities around not just the ship, it's a node in a much bigger ecosystem of defensive capability.
I think it's worth noting the capabilities of the Type 45 are really remarkable. The type that destroyers that they replaced, it said that one of these was the 5 or 6 of those kind of junior craft that they replaced. They're incredibly capable machines. So the alluding of that, we do have a relatively limited arsenal.
Yeah, I think the nice little segue there is that, that is it, frankly, at the moment for Type 45. If you're now looking at President Trump asking for help from the Europeans and wider to go and solve the Strait of Hormuz issue, if you look at the might of the US Navy, this one ship isn't going to make any difference at all to that. So there is a really interesting question here, is that why is President Trump, he knows that the US Navy is a massive, most capable Navy in the world. What is it he actually wants? It's probably not military hardware. What it is political engagement. He wants to see other nations with their hands in the mangle and therefore start to distract away from some of the problems that he's facing. Because quite bluntly, there's a lot of activity going on which we can talk to. The explosions overnight, the US embassy being struck again, and casualties rising. But it feels like we're hitting a turning point in a controls the Straits of Hormuz, it feels like America's losing control of the narrative, and Iran is now starting to control that narrative.
Militaries, not just the UK, but militaries, decent militaries, war game these kind of situations. They effectively enact over the course of several days what the outlook of a venture, as Donald Trump describes it, such as this, ends like. How does this end, considering the challenges we've talked about?
Yeah, so although I'm ancient, when I was in the MOD, we used to war game this. I have played the Iranian side of this. What's happened was not just predictable, it was predicted from the day you started. We don't have much time, but when the war, back in the 1980s, when there was the last time we had this sort of conflict, Iran spent 35 years now working out it can't take on American military might. What it can do is it can put a pressure, a hold over the Straits of Hormuz. It's got tailored weapons hidden away, and they've got time on their hands, time that President Trump doesn't have. This feels like that Trump is going to have a military victory, but a strategic failure. I wouldn't be at all surprised if he's now looking at how does he just declare victory and walk away and find some way of extricating himself from what is bluntly becoming a big mess.
More insight and analysis coming from you through the course of the day. Sean Fuller, thank you so much. Now for check.
You're looking happy.
Well, the forecast looks good.
So you've sorted the travel insurance then? All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors Sky News Weather.
High pressure to the east of the country, influencing the weather over the next few days. Warmer, more settled conditions to come. For now, a fair amount of cloud around, especially over western Scotland and Ireland. A rain belt attempting to push eastward there. Cloud cover fading and breaking over England and Wales. Bright or sunny spells of opening temperatures, low to mid-teens in the Celsius. And tomorrow, the weather in the north and west edging eastward through the day.
All Clear Travel Insurance proudly sponsors Sky News Weather. Discover all the incredible women in your family with millions of records to explore for free. Their story is yours. Start exploring with Ancestry today for free. I consider myself an artist. Scissors, that's symmetry, technique, and finally, a blade hook. Well, it has to be just so. So fussy? Psychology.
With holiday rentals and hotels, Booking.com has something for everyone.
You know what they want to see?
We will agree right away. Maybe a resort with a water park? Yes, one luxury hotel for the price of each. We hit everything. We have flexible cancellation. Find exactly what you're booking for. Booking.com.
I started this brand because I started being told no to my dreams.
So I didn't have any design experience. I didn't have any business experience. But I really had self-belief.
Running a business is really challenging, but I love it. This is so wild that I actually, from a dream, started a business. Where people use
We finished that. Eastside Golf was powered by Shopify.
You want broadband that does more than keep up? Switch to EE, the UK's fastest growing broadband provider, with EE's ultra reliable full fibre for only £25.99 a month. But nothing gets in the way of your browsing, gaming or work. And EE is the only major provider who will get up to £300 to switch.
What's behind the number of red ring? You're really starting to walk hard when you can get rich.
Powerful gaming on planet Earth.
Available from the 26th of March on Sky Cinema.
Good morning, gentlemen. Move, move. We can't get with a fighting fire. Or we get thrown in one.
Fire Country, tonight at 9 on Sky Next.
Watch the Sky today. I'm going to follow. It's 11 o'clock. Breaking news, Israel's defense minister claims his forces have killed Iran's security chief, Ali Larijani. The announcement came minutes after the Israeli military said it had also killed a top Iranian commander, the head of the Besieged paramilitary force. In an exclusive interview with Sky News, Iran's deputy foreign minister warned the US of the consequences from boots on the ground. Just been what happened in Vietnam. You're saying it could be important for the Americans? I said that, I hope that, wisdom prevails. Attacks from Iran continue. The US embassy in Baghdad is hit with shrapnel from interceptor drones. Israel has continued to strike the Lebanese capital this morning with large explosions seen in. Also today, the family of a sixth-form student who died from meningitis in Kent say they're devastated, beyond devastated, as the strain behind several cases in the county is identified. Breaking morning to you, Israel's defense minister claims Iran's top security official Ali Larijani has been killed by Israel in an overnight strike. He was last seen marching through the streets of Tehran alongside other senior regime figures, including Iran's president, on Friday, in an act of defiance against the US and Israeli bombing campaign. Also this morning, the Israeli military says it's killed one of Iran's top commanders, the head of the Besieged paramilitary force. IDF said a strike on Monday killed Soleimani. Israel says he's responsible for severe violence and the widespread arrest of civilians in the protests. Past hours, the Reuters news agency reported that a senior Iranian official has said the supreme leader has rejected proposals for peace submitted by intermediary countries, and that the United States and Israel must be treated and pay compensation. Well, this morning, the Israeli defense minister said Ali Larijani and Reza Soleimani have both been killed.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and I have instructed the IDF to continue pursuing the leadership of the terror and oppression regime in Iran, and to repeatedly cut off the head of the octopus and prevent it from regrowing. US President Trump spoke about the high rate of turnover within Iran's leadership. When morning breaks in Washington, we will update him that the high rate of turnover is continuing and even accelerating following the elimination of two of the most senior remaining figures. I have just been updated by the Chief of Staff that Larijani, Secretary of the Supreme National Security Council, and the head of the Besieged, Iran's central repression apparatus, Soleimani, were eliminated last night and have joined Khomeini, the head of the annihilation program, along with all those eliminated from the axis of evil in the depths of hell.
Hello, I spoke to Foreign Affairs Vice Tim Marshall about the significance of Ali Larijani's death.
I think this is actually possibly as important as killing the supreme leader was. I think Larijani was running the show with the IRGC. I think the clerics are being pushed to one side. He's known as a pragmatist. He's a hardliner. He's a pragmatic hardliner. He's not a headbanger. So if he's gone, what you're left with is, I think, complete IRGC control. I think the clerics really have been pushed to one side. Now, Larijani's from a very wealthy clerical family and was very close to the late supreme leader, being at his right-hand side for 20, 30 years now. So he was one of the last links with the clerical side. There's a saying they had in Iran after the Shah was toppled that they removed the crown from the turban.
Let's take you live to central London. Let's hear from Robert Jenrick from Reform, a spokesperson for the issues regarding energy.
She needs to postpone, cancel, increase in fuel duty that's coming down the tracks in September. And to everyone in the country, that Reform is the only party that is truly committed to bringing down your bills, to lightening the load, and to making life just that little bit easier for people right now across the country. And that is what today is about as well. Because everyone is finding life tough at the moment. When you go to the supermarket, the cost of groceries are going up and up and up. When you go to fill up at the petrol station, even before the war, it was expensive. And now it's going through the roof. And And on top of all of that is the cost of energy. Now, I've met people in my constituency in Nottinghamshire who are so anxious about this at the moment. I've met pensioners who have been frankly shivering this winter because they couldn't afford to turn up the thermostat and to heat their home properly. I met a single mum the other day who came to see me who said that she had cried when she opened her energy bill because she didn't know how she was going to pay for it, put food on the table, buy school uniforms for her kids, keep things going. And that is wrong. It's frankly outrageous that we live in a country where people are finding life so tough, and yet Rachel Reeves is continuing to load people's energy bills with taxes.
Hello, everyone.
Ed Miliband is continuing to put green taxes and levies after taxes and levies on people's energy bills. Enough is enough. People are sick of this. Workers are sick of it. Families are sick of it. Pensioners are sick of it. And Reform is sick of it too, and we are going to fix it. That is why today we're announcing that we're going to get rid of those taxes and levies. We're going to bring down people's bills, and we're going to save the average household at least £200 of their energy bill. And that this will just be the beginning of our mission to make life easier, to cut the cost of living, and to ensure that in the future, in our country, there is cheap and reliable energy. Now, where did this all begin? Well, it goes back a lot longer than just the last couple of years. For decades, including under governments by my former party, our country has been badly managed. We've had the wrong energy policy. We've failed to build new nuclear power stations. We've failed to invest. In fact, we've downgraded some of our most important infrastructure. We have just 2 days of gas storage now as a country. Can you believe that? And we've pursued the most extreme version of net zero. We are just 0.8% of the world's emissions. 0.8%. And yet, despite all of the work that's happened over the last few decades, Ed Miliband, supported by Rachel Reeves and Keir Starmer, are determined to go even further, impoverishing working people and deindustrializing our country, destroying what remains of our heavy industry, car manufacturing, steel, ceramics, glass, all gone or in danger of going in the years ahead, unless we change course as a country. So we've got to make sure that we put as much pressure on this failing government as possible now, and show the British people, show everyone watching at home, that there is a better way, and that a Reform government can fix this, can bring down your bills, can bring back good jobs to this country, and can set us on a better path for the future. And so a Reform government is going to do 2 big things. Firstly, we're going to get rid of the heating tax. VAT on domestic energy bills will be gone in the first Reform budget. Now, this is a tax that was created, for those of you with long memories, by the Conservatives in the aftermath of that Wednesday. It was hated then. People felt it was deeply unfair, and it's deeply unfair today. VAT on the most basic need, heating your home. VAT on a pension, just trying to keep warm on a cold winter's night. What happened? Well, we continue to go up. So a Reform government, we continue to go up. So a Reform government, we're going to get rid of it once and for all. And this will save the average household at least 85 quid off your energy bill. And secondly, we're going to get rid of the green taxes and levies that Ed Miliband has loaded onto your energy bills. Taxes and levies that mostly they just go to the energy companies. Together the next election. And contrast that to what Rachel Reeves and Ed Miliband and the Prime Minister announced just yesterday. They said that they would give a small amount of money to the chosen few to help them with their oil bills. But of course we welcome that. Of course we want to help those people who are finding life tough at the moment. But the Prime Minister said that there was what he calls price gouging, profiteering. Well, if anyone's profiteering right now, it's Rachel Reeves. You don't need to be an economist who worked for 10 years at the Bank of England to know that with fuel prices and energy prices going through the roof, the Treasury is raking it in. In fact, I read in the Telegraph yesterday that Rachel Reeves is going to make up to £3 billion extra in tax as a result of everything that's happening right now around the world. But instead of passing that on to hard-pressed people, she's making it more difficult. And that is the difference between this government that doesn't get it, doesn't understand how tough life is at the moment.
Let's take the ride to Jerusalem. The Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Saar and his Estonian counterpart, Margaret Thatcher, are giving a joint statement followed by a Q&A. Let's take
Last November, I don't believe it happened only 4 months ago, but only 4 months ago. I had the privilege of opening Israel's embassy in Tallinn. That was a great day. It reflects the importance I see in our relations. We look forward to continuing the momentum on 2026. I admire the abilities of the people of Estonia in innovation, what you achieved on digital services for your citizens. And I'm sure that we are going to do great things together. The Iranian terror regime is the #1 source of regional and global instability. The Islamic Revolution in 1979